Alright, so I'm doing another example from 4.2 just to show you this little trick, okay? If you look at a problem like this and you're looking at this differential and you're trying to figure out what P of X is. P of X is not 36, okay? So remember your standard form is going to be y double prime plus P of X, y prime plus Q of X, y equals 0. And if you notice, in our differential here, we do not see the y prime. So here, P of X is going to equal 0. So now when I'm looking for y2, right, y1, I'm just taking this value here, which is cosine 6x, and I have my integral e to the negative 0 dx over cosine squared 6x dx, okay? And now that's pretty straightforward because here you'll have this cosine 6x, right? What is the integral of a 0? That's just going to be a constant, so you have e to the c, I'm not going to keep the negative just because it's constant, over cosine squared 6x dx. Now, since e to the c is constant, okay, that's going to wind up just being a constant. Kick it out, right? So you'll have cosine 6x e to the c, or you could just make that a constant itself, right? You can make this a big constant here, and I'm going to bring this up and it gives me secant squared 6x dx. All right. What is the antiderivative of secant squared? All right, well, that's going to be tangent. Okay, but what do you do with that 6? Okay, so if you're thinking of like, what is cosine, you know, what's the derivative of cosine, just to do a derivative of cosine 6x, right? You would get 6, negative 6 sine 6x, right? So you need a factor of 1/6. So I'm going to get 1/6 on the outside, right? Again, another constant. C is out there. You still have the cosine 6x here, right? So that stays. And then here I'm going to put tangent 6x, right? Don't worry about the plus c. You're just looking for that. Now notice, well, tangent, again, a lot of things you could change. If you notice this, I changed to just a constant. What do you think this I'm going to do? Just a constant. Not a big deal, right? I have cosine 6x, and then tangent, let's rewrite it. Sine 6x over cosine 6x. Cancel, cancel, you're left with sine 6x. Now, so y2, right, is just going to be sine 6x just because we don't need that constant in here when we're saying y sub 2. If you were writing the solution, you would use the c. So if I was writing a solution, I would say, okay, I knew my first, right, solution was cosine 6x. So I would have like a c1 cosine 6x plus c2 sine 6x. This would be the general solution, but when they're just asking for y sub 2, then you're just doing that.